Well, this is it, the Sunray Motel, where the infamous chainsaw scene in Scarface took place. Up these stairs is where it took place, and just go upstairs. You can see it's been reconverted over the years, but that is the spot. Take a ride down the hall. Apartment complex. Right now, this is an apartment complex above Johnny Rockets. So, this is it. This is the infamous stairwell where the shootout took place towards the end of that. It ended out in the street, if you remember, the shootout. And then Tony got in his car and took off around that area.
Okay.
Hello everybody and welcome to another jam-packed episode of Are You Effing Serious? As always, I'm JC and this is my buddy Tex.
How y'all doing today?
We got some very interesting topics to talk about. So we're going to start off with probably the biggest news story so far. Ted Cruz wins the Iowa caucus.
Surprising. I mean, you sound surprised.
I sound surprised. People always talk about racism. Cuban guy wins the Iowa caucus. I'm shocked a little bit.
I mean, Iowa's not a rich town. You know, it's not a rich state. I mean,
Yeah.
So I don't think Trump's going to have a lot of supporters in that particular demographic there. I mean, it's mostly farmers. You know, Trump can't identify with that. You know, I guess they can identify, you know, since he's Latino, that at some point in time he's probably picked a crop or sown a crop or worked in the field at some point in time. So they're probably, maybe, you know, able to relate more to that particular candidate for that reason. You know, farmers stick together.
I was a little shocked that Hillary Clinton won. Also, Bernie Sanders and her were very, very close. The margin was maybe 10 votes.
Bernie Sanders.
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure how I feel about Bernie Sanders.
Well, we definitely had to talk about him, so why not get into it? The determining factor between him and her winning, Bernie and Hillary winning, who's going to be the nominee, is going to come down to African Americans.
Right.
The black vote. So, Jewish guy, white woman. Now, Bernie marched with Martin Luther King, and that's documented. Many civil rights leaders, because the guy is in his 70s.
Right.
And he is documented. So, does he get the black vote?
Black people don't have a lot of patience for old people. And again, you're 70 years old, so I mean, we're not expecting you to stick around long. You may get our vote and then end up dying while you're in there. Then they're gonna have to get a new vice president or something. For now, we wouldn't even want that.
Hillary's only a couple years younger than him. Check the books.
Okay.
So neither one of them is young.
See, when you say a couple of years, I'm thinking like 3.
2, 3. Yeah.
So you're saying she's almost 70-something years old?
Yes.
Okay, I can believe it because she does look old as hell. She looks old as
Bill is
hell.
going to be 70 this year, I believe.
Down.
So
I mean, well, based off that, I don't think we want to vote for either one of them. I mean, okay, which is the lesser of the two evils? I look at it this way. In the whole grand scheme of things, in the nature and history of our country, blacks got the right to vote before women did.
Okay.
Then women.
All right.
So I would expect that for presidency, we would have a black president first before we'd have a woman president. So based off that fact, I would expect Hillary's going to win just for the change up of history alone. Just so we can finally say, because for the past 8 years we've been able to say, well, we had a black president.
Yeah.
So now we're going to be able to say we've had a woman president. Because I mean,
or we've had a Hispanic president.
No, nobody cares.
Nobody cares.
Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Because right now, the Latino problem, you know, the whole Latino invasion is still on people's minds. Because sometimes it's hard to tell the difference between an Arab and a Hispanic. So the thing is, it's like you have to, again, what's the lesser of the two evils?
I got you.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't see any issue with Hispanics in this country or anywhere, or even any of the other immigrants that come into our country. But it's to the most fact that people turned out to vote for Obama because, you know, they at one point in time felt there was going to be a change. whether it was the real change that occurred or whether it was the imagined, takeover that was going to happen. Now you're going to see, instead of just a regular presidential limousine, now he has the Benz limousine with the rims on it. You're going to see him putting up, out in public rocking Biggie and, Pac t-shirts and stuff. They wanted to have that urban president.
Never happened, though.
And the thing is what black people have long realized is that we will never be truly recognized in the Oval Office. We can be educated, and as educated people, we can be recognized, but we won't be recognized as black people. Because that's the thing, because you're gonna be black and then everything else. You're going to have to work twice as hard, and a lot of times in these situations, to show that you're just as good, if not better. So the whole thing is we went from dumbass George W. to Obama for 8 years.
I'm trying not to laugh, everybody. So,
but you have to realize. You have to realize is that we were here.
Yes.
Even if we say that with Obama in his first term. Just for the sake of argument, we stayed there because a lot of Bush's policies were still in effect. He was still trying to get in to change stuff.
Got you.
Let's just say at the end of 8 years that even if it's 1%, let us say that he has improved this at least 1%, because there's a lot of people that don't like what he's done, Obamacare and all this other stuff. But let's just say that he has at least improved the country 1%.
Okay.
Now we have to look at where we're going to go from here. Because we had 8 years of bullshit. Then we got another 8 years. So now we're looking to get, this next candidate. And we want to improve. So here's the thing.
Is it Clinton?
We went black last time because we've had 40 presidents of white since the inception of the country.
Yeah.
We wanted something different. We didn't expect too much of a different outcome. But now we would be able to expect more of a different outcome because she's white.
It's still a Clinton. We've been here before.
No. We haven't. See, we've been around the corner. We're Slick Willie out, hanging out, sneaking out the White House window to go ahead and smoke some J's on the lawn, go ahead and fool around with a couple interns till the sprinklers turn on. That's what we had. We had around the corner. What we would have here is, because honestly, even though they're still together, they're not, like that. You know what I'm saying? She was active in his campaign.
Yeah.
She brought things to the table. Hey, Bill, you should check this out. Hey, Bill, I was over here doing this, and you should check this out, and we should do this and that and the third. Bill's going to be a laissez-faire president. He's going I'm just going to sit back and relax. She's got everything under control.
The first gent or the first man.
I'm telling you, Bill Clinton's going to be he's going to be the first gigolo. That's how that's going to work out. And that's what's going to happen. Maybe 40, 50 years from now, it's not going to be unusual to see a female president. But right now, there are a lot of people who are going to expect that Bill is going to have a hand steadying her to, I wouldn't sign that if I were you. I wouldn't do that if I were you. There's going to be a lot of that, but she's going to make her decisions. If there, because it's Bernie Sanders. Again, we've never even heard of Bernie Sanders until just now. Until recently.
Well, he's apparently been in Washington for 40 years.
And apparently you haven't made a bang in 40 years? What makes you think it's going to happen all of a sudden? Everybody that's, at least since I've been alive, that's been president, they've done some things before that kind of got them pushed forward. Except Barack. Well, Barack just happened to be a smooth-talking brother with a clean record and a nice blue suit. He had a strong woman behind him that helped.
Never heard of the guy till he ran for president.
Exactly.
I'm not from Chicago. Never heard his name.
Decent lawyer. Apparently a decent lawyer.
I heard.
And so again, you got a strong wife that's behind him. So yeah, he did good. He did good. But it's like, we know, even if there were another viable black candidate, we know we couldn't get lucky and get two black candidates in a row, or two black presidents in a row. And again, everybody else is as tired of the bullshit as we are, because it hasn't been black people sending motherfuckers to war and keeping the U.S. involved in all this shit and spending U.S. money everywhere else except in the U.S. Sending all these companies outside of the U.S. to motherfucking make shit for the U.S. and you paying other motherfuckers and not us. So there's a lot of things that we have to realize and look at and be like, wow, we want something different. So we went with Obama. Different. So I figured the only logical way is to give Hillary her shot. She has been chomping at the bit the entire time she was in the White House, wanting to lead something and run something. Let her do it. Now,
you
the
heard
whole
the
thing
man.
with her emails, and we're gonna go ahead and deem them secret. Look, if she did something wrong, put it all out there. Punish her. Let's move on. But if you're gonna go ahead and keep some stuff secret, then apparently she wasn't doing stuff wrong. She was doing what she was supposed to do. Right? I mean, I'm sorry, because I don't really like her.
I'm not a Hillary Clinton supporter.
She was Secretary of what?
She was not the
Something of New York or something. She was.
She was the senator from New York.
Okay. So you're a senator.
Yeah.
And I know senators do a lot of dirty stuff. Often. A lot of scandals popping off. Marion Barry, 2 scandals, still in office. What's his name? Clarence Thomas, scandal, still in office. All this stuff's happened. Everybody got a secret life. Bill Clinton, well, he was still in office. But again, had to make an example out of him because it was cool for JFK, but we live in a different time now, so it's not cool for you to do the same things that he did. And so again, Hillary has to be that logical choice, and I'm sorry to go on this tangent. But
well, from race in the White House to race in another field, Oscar's so white. Mm-hmm. The biggest story of the last month or so, Chris Rock is hosting.
Right.
A lot of press. Will Smith's wife kind of copped an attitude, said Will wasn't nominated. Others saying, the Oscars have always been racist, so why go? Spike Lee said, he didn't say boycott, but he said, I'm not attending. I'm going to watch a basketball game the same night. Mm-hmm. What do you think?
I mean, I think it's true. I think it is absolutely true. The fact that the Oscars have been colorblind this long, and only rarely, do they recognize, these fine examples of achievement. I mean,
I would like to say one thing though: Asians, 0 Oscars. Hispanics, Rita Moreno, 1 Oscar. Black people, more than we got.
I mean,
more than my people got.
The lady from Gone with the Wind. Who else?
Cuba Gooding.
Okay.
Denzel. Bunch of people. Monique. Jamie Foxx. I can already name.
But those are all recent, though.
But I'm saying
recent.
You still got them.
Okay, well, if you want to look at it that way, then the Hispanic community will go ahead and get theirs.
Got 1.
You're gonna. Apparently, it's gonna happen where it's gonna happen all at once.
And the Asians don't have none. I mean, they could complain to both of us.
Dudes, guy to winning or whatever, living, surviving. Some crappy show they got with some white guy trying to be basically what looks to be an adult Parker Lewis with 2 adult.
I saw that.
Yeah.
And Paula Abdul is still hot.
She's
but
always
that is not a reason to keep it on. I love you, Paula. You're a hottie.
Exactly.
Do not keep it on just for her.
Exactly.
Cancel that shit right now.
I saw the premiere episode. It's trash. Complete trash. So you're right.
We got to move on. Anything you want to talk about?
Actually, you can throw it out there. I mean, I'm ready to get on Jaden Smith.
We got it definitely. Now we want to talk about this a couple weeks ago. But we had to really think about what we were going to say. We don't want to offend everybody.
He had to think what he was going to say.
Jaden Smith, the face of Louis Vuitton's women's line. So you have Will Smith's kid wearing dresses in magazines, skirts and whatnot. Now you're the fashionista type cat. Let's be honest here.
I appreciate
All right,
sir.
So obviously I'm going to consult to the experience. When you hear this, what comes to mind?
Idiotic marketing ploy.
That was the most blunt thing I've ever heard this man say. Round of applause. Round of applause. As a guy from Jersey, I appreciate blunt words, and that's the blunt shit I've ever heard.
We all know that, women have been, their clothes have evolved for the longest time, right?
Yeah.
women wear suits now. And not only that, women wear men's clothing.
Probably since the 80s.
Here's my thing.
Nice little pantsuit here and there.
If you're going to be the face of a woman's line,
Yes.
at least let it be a masculine line. At least let it be a line for a woman that wants to dress like men.
I mean, like tomboy stuff.
Yeah.
I mean,
I see so many lesbians out here wearing, the jeans and t-shirt like guys and so on and so forth. And maybe some girls, again, like you said, a little more tomboyish, not so much flair with them. But again, be the face of that line for clothing for women that want to look like men. Don't become that man that wants to, again, in this industry, especially, and as a black culture, it's strongly and repeatedly, they use these different ways to suppress, the black culture, but also, the species as a whole, especially the role of the black man.
Yeah.
This ties into what I was saying on the Blackish. But again, with them, basically having him there, they're basically feminizing, the black male species.
Yeah.
And the thing is, when we had that feminization added into the stripping of the assertive role and dominant role in the household. Like when we first, back in the 80s, watched the Cosby Show, you had Cliff and Claire. Now, they were both successful. He was a doctor, she was a lawyer. But the thing is, they showed that, the dynamic that in the house, they were equal.
Yeah.
Because he didn't have a better job than her, she didn't have a better job than him. And it was also shown that even though they were supposed to talk about stuff, she really controlled the house too, because she controlled the kids.
Yeah.
So essentially, he was a powerful figure because he was there, but he was not that dominant, male role model in this home. Then you go to Blackish now, where you have his wife who's a doctor, but then you have him who's an advertising executive. So in reality, those two worlds would never mix. But the fact that they did somehow find each other and come together is that fact that outside of the, just on the dynamic, she's the primary stronger force. And then inside the house, it's the same way as the Huxtables, where she's still running the house. And so it's more along the lines of showing more and more black men as softer and more feminine, and it's basically taking away that strong black role model that, a lot of us grew up with. So it's terrible. No offense. I mean, I understand being free, expressing yourself, and all that other good stuff. But my opinion is Will should have sat him down and told him, you're a strong black man. And I need you to represent that role model of a strong black man.
Yeah.
If not for you, then for me. Mm-hmm. Because that's what he's doing. I mean, true, Will has played a gay role before. Maybe more than once, but I know at least once.
Yeah.
But it's the fact that young black men need something to aspire to. And wearing dresses is not it. Wearing blouses is not it.
Yeah.
And like I said, I feel that Jada Smith has severely, just in my personal opinion, has taken us back centuries in the regards of trying to, show their equal footing. Because the thing is, when white people wear dresses, nobody cares. When a white guy wears a dress, nobody cares. Because white guys have been doing what they want to do for centuries.
Not really.
But we pay attention when a black guy does it. Because if there's a meaning behind it, like if you're wearing your traditional African garb and whatever, and it looks like a dress, that's one thing. If you're Scottish and you have on a kilt, that's one thing. But when you're wearing a dress just because to wear a dress,
yeah,
you're not, and then, I don't care what your sexuality is, because again, whether you're straight or bi or whatever, it's bad. Mm. It's bad. Like I said, RuPaul and all the other drag queens that are out there, so on and so forth, do what you do, have fun with it. I can't judge you. But what I can say is that when you're out there, go ahead and do your thing. But when you're not out there, you need to present yourself as that strong, real male role model, because it's being lost, man. I mean, I don't know who Hispanic people turn to, like young men turn to, as that strong Hispanic, role model. And like the people in the election, like Rubio and Cruz and all, they should be that in their communities and as a whole. So it's like, think about it. If Cruz or Rubio's son were to come out talking about, he's the new face of Lane Bryant, he's wearing dresses and stuff. I mean, how do you feel about voting for him?
I wasn't going to vote for either of them anyway.
Well,
so let's be honest. And Hispanics, I think people have to understand that Hispanics are not necessarily like African Americans where they tend to vote one way. Hispanics, we're so divided as nationalities that like Puerto Ricans are like Mexicans, Cubans are like Puerto Ricans, blah blah blah, blah blah blah. So I might not be inclined to trust the Cuban,
Right.
and they might not be inclined to trust me, or we might not be inclined to trust the Mexican. And I'm not saying it to be malicious.
Well, yeah, I've heard that is still going on.
But I'm not necessarily going to vote for them. I wish them the best. I don't wish them any ill will. If one does become president, well, God bless them. But they're not getting my vote.
Yeah.
So.
Well, Jaden Smith, you don't get my vote for wearing dresses because I'm saying, are you fucking serious? Like, please, man up.
So with that being said, we'd like to thank you for watching.
Thank you.
As
Until
always.
next time, we wish you Godspeed.
Peace in the Middle East, my hoodlums. All right. Super Bowl one is so much.